Hey, so I'll be doing a walkthrough video for all my tracks that I upload to this channel. Maybe you can learn something from them, maybe you guys can give me some advice for me to improve. But this video is going to be a walkthrough for my latest track, also my first track, Clouded. The FLP download is in the description. Yeah, let's get started. So the overall track is very basic structure. It's a simple break or build up and straight into a drop, and it pretty much repeats twice. And with minor little edits here and there. I didn't spend too much time on this, but I wanted to get it out. Yeah. Alright, so I'll start off with the drop, and it sounds something like this. I'll quickly play it through. So pretty simple, it's not too much, it's just a fun little track. So okay, at the top we have the kick, simple kick, and this is the EQ. Next we have the block, and this is pretty much, it plays throughout the whole track. I think it gives it atmosphere and it just sounds nice in the background. It doesn't bring too much attention. Next we have a clap, and this one as well. And it's pretty much 4 claps coming together, because I wasn't satisfied, and I just kept adding it on, and yeah, at this point there's 4 with one sort of delayed clap, and yeah, and also this extra clap from the loop, which I've added later on. And there's also this little percussion. Actually, I think it's a kick. Yeah. So what it is, it's there to support the bass. So it sounds like this. So it pretty much just adds some extra kick and sort of that plastic feeling, a rubbery feeling, along with the kick. And yeah, you don't really notice it, but I think it sounds pretty nice when you kind of put it all together. So this is what all the drums and all that sounds like. Yep, pretty simple. Okay, let's go on to the synths. So together it sounds like this. Including this up in the second part of the drop. Yeah, so the main lead is just one simple lead. I've made it nice and loud, very vibrant and sort of wide, and it carries the track pretty much. Yep, and that's off Silent. Yeah, sidechain Kickstart with to 97%, not all the way. Some OTT and some side chaining. So the chords. So this is the main chord that powers throughout the track. Now it has two sounds together. It has the piano and the silent sound. And I don't really like this piano because I don't have any other piano plugins, so I use the default FL keys, which I hate the sound for, but so that's why I just use the sort of low end of the sound, so you don't hear it too much together. Yep. Next is the bass. A nice sort of very deep house bass, and again, that's off Silent, and it pretty much has EQ, cutting off the deepest lows, OTT, and Kickstart, and that's pretty much it. Nice and simple. And so without the effects, it sounds like this. To support the bass, I've also included a sort of a gritty, nice, sharp chord. Has a really nice attack, and there's a little bit of distortion to it, which I think sounds really nice. Yep, and the second part of the drop, we have the ARP, which is sort of comes in with a cutoff filter. If I could just find that one. And the cool thing about this ARP is I didn't even make it into an ARP. I just used the ARP effect on Silent itself. So naturally it sounds like this. And with the ARP effect, I thought that sounded pretty cool. We also have this little chord, very light chord that sort of brings everything together. I thought sounded pretty cool. You can barely hear it, but I think it puts it all together. You also hear that as a little build-up I made in the at the end of the second drop. So this is what it sounds like. Yeah, you know, you muck around and you just find what sounds good. And the fill is pretty simple in between. So it's just a snare roll. And how that works is it's just a simple snare, and I manually pitched it down myself using the blocks. And the cool thing is the pan. So I use the default panning on FL Studio. So how that works is you pretty much change the note down here in Note Pan, and this is the left side and that's the right side. So it's like a quick double kick, and this is what it sounds like. Makes that impact feel big and, you know, powerful. And that's all the synths. So now the effects, I'll quickly run through those. Yeah, and that's pretty basic. I guess the two different things might be, you know, I extended this crash throughout the second part of the drop because I wanted to put all that energy together. I wanted to keep that energy going rather than drop off. So I kept it going, and I used the stereo widener to make it wide, and I did the same with this effect. It just adds that sort of groove on with the kicks. So here's what it sounds with the kicks, or with the drums. And so now go into the sort of the break, or the, I guess, build up. Again, there's not much to this track. Yeah, so it starts off with this block. Actually, it starts off with this reverse intro. And then I cut off the last bit there because I thought, it sounded pretty cool. And how I did that was I got this main chord, turn off the side chain and everything else, and then reversed it and placed it there. Yeah, sounds pretty cool. So yeah, in the build-up, there's the block. Like I said, it runs throughout the track. There's the lead, but it doesn't play at full volume. I've put a cutoff somewhere here. I think it's that one. Yep. It's sort of to build that tension. Same thing with this chord. There is a cutoff. Yep. And I guess the main different thing is this break bass, or the build bass. And so I added that because I wanted to add sort of tension, because there's not really a break in this track. And I love the grittiness because it really stands out. So together, so it sounds like this without the bass. But when you add the bass in, it sounds like this. Yeah, and it pretty much fills up the whole spectrum. We have this effect that's different. And I really like this effect because it has, like, you can clearly hear it, and it plays throughout the entire start intro, this sort of section, so it doesn't cut off and then it sounds awkward. Yeah, and then on the build up, there's this impact, again building that tension, and right before the drop there's this nice little effect that I really like. And so how that works is, this is pretty much reversed lead, and that little block sound is this block that I used here, but it has no effects or anything, so it's very raw. And why it sounds so good is because everything else cuts off. All the leads, all the chords, all the bass, everything goes quiet when that block hits. So then overall it gives that drop a lot more energy. And yeah, I think that's everything. So the FLP will be for free in the description. Feel free to learn, pick everything out. It will include the presets, the samples, and everything else. So you don't need to. So nothing will be missing. And you can, if your silent or something isn't working, you can just drag the presets in. Simple. Yeah. Like the video, and yeah. Cheers.